Okay, so the first video you are going to watch is a little bit general and it's about understanding your IB biology guide. This means the workbook that you're given is going to contain information for everything that you need to know to pass biology for the IB. Okay, the first section in your workbook has information about the diploma program in general. For example, it has instructions on how to use the workbook. It also gives you the expectations for biology students. Let's look at these really quickly just to understand and to make sure that you know what is expected of you as a student in biology. Number 1 says you will, for the most part, direct your learning and make the most of the resources available to you. That means that you have to use as many of the resources that are given to you as possible in order to understand everything, and in meaning that you have to know and you have to be responsible in which is the best way for you to learn. If I give you lectures, if I give you something to read, if I give you a video, if I give you pictures or worksheets to fill out, any of those, you have to decide which ones are the best for you to learn. Number 2 says you will keep track of your progress in this book. This means that this workbook is for you to draw on and to write on, for you to really know how much you already know and how much of the program has been covered. Okay? You will keep notes, lab notebook, and files ordered and easy to navigate. This is very important, especially for you. If you have your notes and your notebook, your lab notebook, and your files in your computer that have clear titles, that have some sort of an order, you can find them easier, and it will be the best way for you to keep your things in order, and it will help you a lot when it comes to studying. Number 4 says you will be able to find any document on your flash drive or laptop as soon as it is requested. This is especially important when you start writing lab reports that you will keep in your flash drive or you will keep in your computer. And if I need them for whatever reason, and if I need them today, then you have to be able to get them to me in the many of the ways that we have. Okay, number 5 says you will check your information is correct before you commit it to memory. This is especially important for the worksheets that are included in the workbook. You are going to have a lot of web pages, the biology textbook, a lot of videos, a lot of information from everywhere. And before you actually memorize something, make sure that it is the right thing. It's the right name. If you're not sure if it's the right order, ask, okay, before you save it on your hard disk in your head. Number 6 says, you will ask when you need help, but not without trying to work it out for yourself first. That means give it a try. Okay, I know you're very smart because you've gotten this far, and you can probably work things out by yourself. If you're unable to, because there's really something that you don't understand, that's when you ask for help. But there's no need to raise your hand and say, Miss, what do we have to do? Because that will be explained to you. Okay, so please make sure that you pay attention, that you follow the instructions, and then if you need clarification, obviously you will be allowed to ask for help. Okay? Number 7 is also equally important. You will offer help to those in need. That doesn't mean, hey, this homework was very easy for me, I can do the homework for everybody. That's not the point. The point of this is work as a team. Okay? Find a couple of other students that are your friends or that study well, that you study well with them, and if there is something that they understand that you don't, ask them for help. If there's something that you understand and they don't, offer your help to them. Okay, this way you will be working as a team and you will be making sure that each of you either understand everything or don't understand anything and you need to ask questions. Okay, number 8 says you will work safely in the lab and clean up after yourself. That means that with your lab materials, you have to have something to clean with, a little towel, un trapito, whatever it is that you can use to clean up after yourself, or paper towels. There's always things in the lab that you can use to clean up, but it is equally important that you have your own to clean up your desk. We do have people that clean the classrooms and that clean the lab every once in a while, but throughout the day there's more people than just you that are using the lab. So make sure that when you leave your lab station, it is just as clean as when you found it. Okay? Number 9 and number 10 for me are the most important. Okay? The most important expectations that I expect of you. Number 9 says you will be on time and prepared to take an active role in class. If you arrive late, you will not be permitted into the classroom. And if you don't take an active role in class, how can I know that you understand? How can I know that you have done your homework? How can I know that you are making progress? It is important that if we're having a discussion, that you participate. It is important that if we are asking questions, then you answer them. And it is important that if there is something you don't understand, that you ask questions. Okay, so please make sure that you are active, because if you get lost and you don't ask any questions and you just sit in the back and you fall asleep in class, then I will probably not notice that you're not understanding. So how can I help if you don't tell me that you need help? Okay? And number 10, the most important one of all, it says you will submit assignments on time in the right format. We are going to talk about what these assignments are and what is the format for the assignments. When for every assignment it may be something different, but the important thing here is that you need to submit your assignments on time. Not only because it's going to affect your grade, but it is also important because I need to check that you are not copying from somebody or that somebody has copied from you with or without your knowledge. Okay? So if you don't turn in your assignments on time, they will not be received. Okay. Also, in the first section of the workbook, you're going to find this pie chart that it breaks down your IB grade for all the different components. Okay? If we look at the purple section over here, it says paper 1 multiple choice 20%. That means that in November of next year, you're going to have 3 exams. The first of these exams is going to be paper 1. The characteristics of paper 1 is that for standard level you have 30 multiple choice questions and you have 45 minutes to solve them. For higher level you have 40 multiple choice questions and you have 1 hour to solve them. These multiple choice questions are easy to answer because you just have to choose one option from 4 options presented to you, but that does not necessarily mean that it is an easy exam. The questions are hard. And there is only one possible answer. So you either get it right or you don't. Okay? So this one exam is worth 20% of your grade. The second exam, paper 2, is data-based questions and extended response. Data-based questions means that you're going to have a graph, okay, whether it's a pie graph like the one shown here, or whether it's a line graph or a bar graph, whatever kind of graph that shows you information, scientific information, and you have to be able to analyze that information and answer questions based on the graph. So that is something that we are going to practice quite a lot in class, and it's something that you should know how to do already. And the extended response questions are questions that you need to write down the answer for, okay? Some of those may be a short answer, like for example, what is the definition of osmosis or such questions. And in the last part of the exam, you're going to have essay type questions. Questions that require you to explain in depth and with a lot of detail any of the topics that is being asked. Okay? Things like compare, explain, discuss, those kinds of questions that are going to allow you to explain everything you know regarding a specific subject. Paper 3, in green over here, shows a short answer, 2 options, 24%. That means we're going to talk about the options in a little bit when we talk about the syllabus, but you're going to have 2 big topics that are going to be the options, and paper 3 is only about the options, okay? Paper 1 and paper 2 cover all the core topics, and paper 3 covers only 2 topics, okay? They're not small topics, but paper 3 is a little shorter than paper 2, and it has short answer questions and some data-based questions as well. And this third exam is worth 24% of your grade. All of these, paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3, are considered external assessment. This means these are the exams that you are going to be taken in November of next year. External assessment means that these exams are corrected by the IB people. Okay, I can only see the exams while you're taking them, but I'm not going to correct your answers, and I'm not going to give you the grade on those exams. The other remaining 24% is what we call internal assessment, which is basically practical work in the lab and the lab reports that you're going to write about it. Okay? If we look, I have subdivided internal assessment into the first 3 evaluation criteria. Okay? The first criterion is design. We're going to talk more in depth in class about what is designing an experiment. The second evaluation criteria is data collection and processing, and that's worth 6% of your grade, and conclusion and evaluation. So basically the first 3, design, data collection and processing, and conclusion and evaluation, are the first 3 evaluation criteria that will be used to evaluate your lab reports. Okay? Manipulative skills is obviously means how well you can handle things in the lab. So if you follow the safety regulations, if you follow instructions clearly, if you need a lot of help or not, and so on. And that accounts for 3% of your grade. And personal skills means how well you work in a group. Okay? And this is especially important for the Group 4 project that is evaluated. We're going to talk about what this project is in another video. Okay, and this is worth 3% of your grade. So all this in orange over here is the grade that I give you. Okay, manipulative skills and personal skills, I can give you the grade for those. And for design, data collection, processing, and conclusion and evaluation in your lab reports, I also give you the grade for those evaluation criteria. However, they can be moderated. That means I need to send a sample of your work to the IB moderators, and they can look over it again and then decide whether I have given you too many points, for example, or too few points, for example. Okay? The following section of your workbook has information about the biology program specifically. If you find the page, you will see at the title, Syllabus Details Core. The core material is the central knowledge that you need to master in biology. For the standard level, the core material plus the 2 options is everything you need to know for your exams. For higher level, you have the core material, the 2 options, and the additional higher level material that you need to know for the exams in November. Okay, so if we look at this table over here, you can see in this red column, the first column, you can see the topic numbers, and these numbers are correlated with the official IB guide. That means the IB, whenever it's talking about a specific topic in biology, it's going to refer to the specific number. Okay, so for students who are taking IB biology all over the world, topic 1 is statistical analysis. Topic 2 is cells, and so on. Okay, so these numbers are going to be used by us as well to refer to the same thing. So all the videos, all the worksheets, all the extra material is going to have the same numbers so that you can quickly place them with your guide. So if I tell you it's topic 2.1, then you will know that topic 2.1 is cell theory. Okay, if we look at the middle column over here in green, these are what we call the assessment statements. This is the detail that gives you how much you need to know of a specific topic. Okay, for example, topic 1, statistical analysis. Well, statistics is a very large and broad subject, and here it tells you what you need to know specifically for IB biology. Okay, so if we read at the first one, it says state that the error bars are graphical representation of the variability of data. That's very simple because you just need to say that. Okay, number 2, says that you should be able to calculate the mean and standard deviation of a set of values. This is something that you should know from math, but we are going to go over it in biology to make sure that everybody can calculate the mean and the standard deviation of some values. Why is this statistics important for biology? We're going to talk about it later when we talk about statistics specifically. On the third column here in purple, you can see that it says covered. This column is intended for you to place a check mark once we have covered this topic in class. That way you can keep track of everything that we have done in class, especially when we have short breaks, or if there is a paro de transportes, or for whatever reason we don't have class a specific day, then we can retake that day. We can start off wherever we left off, and you can keep track of how much we have done in class. Okay? The last column here in orange, it says completed. And this column is also intended for you to use and to check once you have completely understood a topic. So once you have gone over it before your exam, or once you really understand what error bars are, then you can check covered because we've covered it in class, and you can also check completed because you kind of understand what it is. I mean, you don't have to know it by heart at the time, but it means that by reading it or going over it one more time, you will understand and you will be prepared for knowing what it is. Okay? Now, something else about the syllabus. You can see that when you start looking at your workbook, that the first few pages are going to be all the core topics from 1 to 6. Okay? 1 being statistical analysis, 2 cells, 3 the chemistry of life, 4 genetics, 5 ecology and evolution, and 6 human physiology and health. Okay? At the end of topic 6, you are going to find the syllabus details for the higher level students. That means the topics 1 through 6 are for the standard level students to know, and obviously the higher level students also need to know the topics from 1 to 6. However, the topics 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 are topics that are only for higher level students. So standard level students only need to know topics 1 through 6. Higher level students need to know the topics 1 through 11. Okay? At the end or after the higher level syllabi, you have the syllabus details for the options. Okay, the options are 2 topics, like I said before when talking about paper 3, 2 extra topics that we need to cover aside from the core. Okay, so in the syllabus we have some options that are only available for standard level students. That means the higher level students cannot do these options, okay, because they are only for standard level students. Then we have some options that are for standard level and higher level students. For example, in this case, topic E or option E, neurobiology and behavior. The standard level students are going to devote 15 hours, that means around 2 months of class. And the higher level students are going to dedicate 22 hours, that means roughly 3 months to this topic. Okay? The core material is going to be for SL and HL students, and the extension material only for HL students. Okay? And also there are some options that are for higher level students only, like option H, further human physiology. This especially goes to those students that are going to study medicine and biology related fields. Okay? So most likely, because of depending on how this year goes, and because you are going to be mixed in a class of standard level and higher level, most likely we are going to do the options that are for standard level and higher level, so that you can do most of it together, and then the higher level students are going to do the higher level material on their own, on their higher level periods. Okay. So last but not least, we have the requisites for obtaining the diploma. What do you need to get the IB diploma? Okay, remember that you have 6 subjects. 3 of those are at higher level and 3 are at standard level. Okay, so number 1 says all assessment components for each of the 6 subjects and the additional IB diploma requirements must be completed. That means you have to turn in everything for every subject and also everything else for CAS and theory of knowledge and extended essay, all the components of all the subjects in order to be eligible to get the diploma. Okay, so if you don't turn in internal assessment for biology, then it doesn't matter how well you do in your exams, it doesn't matter how well you do in your other subjects, you will not get the IB diploma. So it's important that you turn in everything. Okay? Number 2, if a candidate is awarded a grade E for theory of knowledge or for the extended essay, the candidate has to have at least 28 points or more to be eligible for the diploma. However, if you get an E for theory of knowledge and an E for extended essay, you can no longer get the diploma. Okay? The diploma will be awarded to a candidate whose total score is 24 points, only if all of the following requires have been met. So you need at least 24 points and all these requirements. Okay, so A, all CAS requirements have been met. That means all your hours have been finished and all your bitácoras have been turned in and everything that has to do with CAS has been met. Okay. B says at least a grade D has been awarded for both theory of knowledge and extended essay. We'll talk about this a little bit more when we talk about extended essay. And the grade that you get for theory of knowledge and extended essay, the combination of grades gives you up to 3 points towards your total. But you have to have at least a D in order to get the diploma, like you saw in point number 2 that we saw before. Okay, letter C, there is no grade 1 in any subject. If you fail any of the subjects with a 1, then you're definitely not getting the diploma. Okay, you can get a 2, just not in a higher level subject. Okay, letter D, there is no grade 2 at higher level, and at least 12 points have been gained in higher level subjects. That means you have 3 subjects at higher level, you have to have 4, a grade of 4 from 1 to 7, you have to have 4 in English, Spanish, and either biology or physics. Okay, 12 points in your higher level subject. If you have a 3 in biology, what does that mean? It means that you can have a 3 in biology. However, in your other subjects, English and Spanish, you have to have higher grades so as to reach 12 points. So you need a 5 in Spanish, a 4 in English, and a 3 in biology, and you can still get the diploma. Okay? Candidates who register for 4 higher level subjects and 2 standard level subjects, they have to have at least 16 points at higher level. So basically you need a 4 for all the higher level subjects. Letter E, there is no more than 1 grade 2 at standard level. So from your standard level classes, you can fail with up to 2. So you can get 2 in economics and you have a 4 in everything else, you can still get the diploma. Okay? At least 9 points have been gained on standard level subjects. That means on your 3 subjects that are standard level, if you have 3 in economics, 3 in arts, and 3 in, I don't know, whatever other subject that you chose at standard level, you can still get the diploma, but you need to have at least 9. If you have a 2 in one of those subjects, then you need to obviously have a 5 or more in the other subjects. Okay, so as long as you have 4 and above in all of your subjects, you will be fine. Okay, overall, there are no more than 3 grades 3 or below. That means if you have one of your higher level subjects, for example, you have a 5 in English, a 4 in Spanish, a 3 in biology, and then in all of your standard level subjects you get a 3, you are not going to get the diploma because you cannot have more than 3 grades 3. 3 threes. Okay? So you can have a 3 in one higher level, a 3 or up to 2 threes in any standard level, but not more than that. Okay? And if you have a 2, then you can definitely not have any more 3s. Okay? So having said that and having introduced the class, This is what the videos are going to look like. You're going to have a PowerPoint presentation with me in the background explaining what this presentation is about. And I want to finish with a little inspirational picture and a little inspirational phrase, because you're about to start a journey that is long and it's hard, but we are going to travel as a group and we are going to make the most of it. And all we need to do is just take it one step at a time. Okay? So until the next video.